Hi there. Today we are invigorating our core and our hips through this low plank and high plank yoga trapeze practice. Let's begin. So let's begin in the low hammock. I'm in my kneeling position with the hammock below the belly. I'm going to keep it in the creases of my hips as I come into the forearmed plank, letting myself come right underneath the rig. You can always adjust that hammock, push it back below your hip bone so you don't feel like it's cutting into your belly. And let's start by moving forward and back. I like to stretch the feet here. I let myself flip the toes and then push back into the heels, going all the way forward, all the way back. Very important. Our feet don't get enough care, so this is a great practice to let ourselves stretch just a bit more. And then from here, we'll start bringing those legs up. We're wrapping here from outside in, so my toes face inside the hammock, notice, outside in. And I'm just gonna find some circular movement first. Let's create some circles. Letting our hips move in circles. Go in one direction and the other. We're also strengthening our shoulders here by pressing into the forearms. Extra benefit. Maybe swaying them from side to side. Just really explore the movement here. Trying to relax the hips into the fabric. And then from here, we'll start landing our head and chest down on the ground. You can also use a bolster blanket under you. And here in this position, you can choose to stay for a while, taking a yin version, letting the fascia open anywhere 2-4 minutes, or however long feels comfortable for your hips. Couple of variations. We can lower one leg down, let it rest, sway a little. And I will switch. That leg comes back, lower the other, sway some more. Make sure you're breathing nicely, softly. And I will bring both legs once more. Any movement side to side, sways. And when you're ready to release, we're going to bring one foot down and then the other. And let's walk ourselves into a child pose, letting the knees be wide, toes together, and just slide your head to the mat. Walk your fingertips forward. Sit back into your hips. You can always release that hammock or push it lower than the belly so you feel comfortable. Hold for a few breaths. Inhale and exhale. And then we'll start bringing ourselves up. And from here, I will be switching into a higher hammock. And now we'll come into our high plank part of the practice. So I will take the rubber handles out of the way to create loops, which I will need for my feet. And the hammock is going to be mid-level. So it's not standard, it's lower, kind of mid-thigh level. I'm going to keep it low to release myself into that regular variation of a plank on the hands. I'm going to push the hammock away from my belly towards the hip bone. I want to share a trick. If the hammock feels too intense on the area below your belly, just take a blanket and slide it right into the center. Just make sure you have nice big sides of it kind of hanging down so it's not sliding out of the way. And then the same thing as we come into the posture, we're just gonna take our hammock below the belly, and this way the blanket is going to help you to feel a little more comfortable. So give it a try. And once I'm right underneath the rig point, I'm gonna take my feet into those loops by turning the toes out and just pressing into the loops through my foot so it doesn't slide. You can also do it on your forearms if it's a little more comfortable. Same thing, I'm just gonna take my handle out, feet into the handles, and once I'm here, I'm just gonna let myself sway a little bit, kind of like a floating plank. You have support through the main hammock as well as the handles, so it's definitely easier to hold, but still working your core, keeping your back protected. And then from here, let's take a couple of stretches. Now I'm going to bring my legs out wide and then bring them back into the center. Out wide. Hang there maybe for a breath or two, but bring them back. Some dynamic stretch here. Out wide, back into the center. Couple more. Any of you working on the firefly on the mat, that could be a nice prep pose for that. And then release. We'll just take a couple of nice hip circles, knees in and out. One direction and the other. And eventually we can just let go of the handles, bring your feet down for a moment, and then we'll take them into our wrap. Oops, slid all the way up. There you go. And we're going to take our wrap with the legs going around the hammock from outside in. Notice I'm going from outside in, so my toes are pointing towards the center of the hammock. That's important to create the strong contact with the creases of the hips so the hammock does not slide up your thighs and you don't belly flop onto the mat. Once you're here, get a couple of gentle flays back and forth. And then if you start getting tired because we've been on the wrist so long, let's just come to the forearms. We can press the hips back, let the head relax. You might be able to let your forehead land on the floor, pushing the hips all the way back. And just taking a couple of nice breaths here. Inhale and exhale. We can move forward and back. We can also circle the hips, send them in circles. One direction and the other. And then from here, maybe coming back up onto your hands and knees. Now I'm going to slide one leg down to the floor. The other leg in the hammock can come a little higher up and just get a nice stretch here. Holds. And then the free leg comes up. Outside in wrap. Nice secure. And then the other leg comes down. You can slide that leg in the hammock up once again. Take a nice stretch. Both feet up. And a little last movement that feels good here. And then when you're ready to release, one foot down, the other foot down. Walk your feet towards your hands into the forward fold. Bend your knees a lot. Hug your elbows. Relax your head. Relax your neck. Take a couple nice deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. And then when you're ready, let yourself slowly roll up. Just stand. Subscribe for more practices like this and continue whenever you feel ready.